Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. We've got way too much third-party news to talk about, but I will warn, this video might get long. Just like the last ones, it's hard not to get them, up in there in that 20-30 minute range, but just letting you know. We're gonna try to go through this as fast as possible, but just be prepared. This is like my third time recording this, so let's try it again. First, Black Hole Toys. As a reminder, they're doing Future Gohan, Super Saiyan 1 and 2 Goku, as well as a Ultimate Gohan. They did new renders. We haven't seen anything since. So we're waiting for probably new prototype images. Next, they're also doing these Super Saiyan 4 Gokus. Both of them are very different. Obviously, this one right here, you're going to wonder what is the main difference from the official. It should be that it's taller. The colors are obviously a bit more saturated, darker. There's a windy hair sculpt that comes with the iconic rock everybody wants. And one little detail is the faceplates. Personally, I'm thinking that these faceplates are inspired or collaborated with DO Customs 4, because they look very similar. If you look at the renders, you look at the images here, they look very similar. So I can't really say for sure, but they haven't confirmed that they work with them at all. So it's either a situation of they copied it or I don't know. I don't want to say permission, because I mean, it's not like they own this stuff, but you know what I mean? In some way they worked with them. I don't know. That's what I'm hoping for. For this variant here, I will say, I know the colors are a little bit jarring to some, but the color palette is not consistent between the promo anime as well as the actual merchandise for it. I believe the Ichiban Kuji statues or the Banpresto statues for this form look like this as well. So unfortunate, but yeah, that's really about it. These are apparently in stock on Figure Model 02 store and their other store, Figure Model store. I believe Hobby Model Store just said they have stock of it as well, so should be seeing it in people's hands fairly soon. Yeah, let's move on. So Demon Fit, they are doing a Scarlet Martial Artist. They did one of these before a long time ago, but this one looks to be more on the line of what Tamashii did in terms of faceplates. It does have a kanji here as well. I don't remember if the new one from Tamashii has kanji on it, and it might have a kanji on the back. I don't know. We shall see. In addition to that, it also is coming with this script piece for the 24,000 power level Vegeta. They did mention that this was going to be coming eventually. We just didn't know which product they'd be dropping it with. They could have dropped it with the Bardock set. They could have dropped it with anything else. But they've decided to do this. So if you're into this and you need it, go for it. I do think that this Goku is worthwhile, at least for the people who are in places where, Targets and Walmarts are not accessible, since that's where that particular Goku is basically exclusive to. But yeah, let's move on. We've got CT Toys here. If you didn't get Gamma 1, Gamma 2, or Pan, you should be able to, take advantage of this and get all these accessories from CT Toys. Sun Gohan Scholar release. It seems like a pretty good one. There are reviews of the figure already, in terms of this body, because they've done it at least 2 times already. So if you're unsure about how you feel about the body articulation, just look up CT Toys Gohan review, and there probably should be a couple that reviewed it already. But I have heard some people say that the Super Saiyan faces and head look a little weird. Best I could say to that is, it's the trade-off. It's a bootleg that is a lot better quality than the other bootleg, but it's cheap. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of a trade-off. You're getting those accessories, but also the quality may not necessarily be the best. It might be a little lower, but better than the other ones. So there's that. Anywho, OC Toys, there's a few updates with them. First of all, their base Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan Blue kits are expected now to release between August and September of this year, which is actually a lot faster than their original estimate of 2025 Q1. So very happy about that. It means a lot more people are going to get to experience the quality of their stuff a lot faster, and probably they can receive some feedback in terms of their designs, and choices like that with the head sculpts, and maybe make improvements with the other figures that they're doing for Vegito. In addition to that, there was some updates from Jason Koh on 5K Toys / Kong Studios Facebook group. I believe Jason Koh also is, I want to say, the owner of 5K Toys. I don't know if they have a co-owner or what, but he is the main one that does drop all the news for the most part, from what I've seen. Basically, there will be 3 styles for the Vegito figure. Right now, I believe we've seen 2 of them, which is the Capsule Corp version, as well as this regular orange and blue version. The third version is unknown. That has not been shown. It has not been teased. But if I had to guess, personally, I really want it to be Zeno SSJ4, or actually Zeno base Vegito. And the reason why I say that is because the third style is supposed to have 3 variants. And I think you can get away with that very, 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 very easily with that Zeno Vegito. I want to say Vegeta so bad, you have no idea. But the Vegito, basically you could do base, Super Saiyan 4, and Limit Breaker SSJ4. That seems like a fair contender for that variant, right? And the reason why I say that is because we don't have any updated versions of that form, of that design. The last one to do that, really, I think, was between Beast Deities, formerly Kong Studios, as well as Demonigo Fit. And both those figures right now on the market, I'm not paying for that. I don't think many other people want to pay that price that it is right now on the aftermarket. Not to mention, those were back in the early days, you know, when their figures maybe weren't the best quality and were still being fine-tuned and working on improvements and figuring out how to do better. They were not the best. They're okay, but could get a lot more work done on them, right? So I think having an updated body like a 3.0 just would be amazing for it. On top of the fact, you know, the buff factor for the Super Saiyan 4, it would just look even better. But that's just my guess. It could be something entirely different. And I'm going to make reference to the fact that we have this head sculpt right here that hasn't been shown anywhere else. This video that I downloaded so it won't get lost from Billy from the user, they deleted it. I don't know why. Maybe OC Toys asked them to delete it, but this was one of the head sculpts listed in that video, and it looks like a Super Saiyan God type of deal or a Kaioken type of deal. I don't know, but if this is what one of the other variants is supposed to be, I'm not really sure how I'm feeling about that. We'll have to see. I really want them to stick to maybe doing like a Zeno Vegito. I think it would just be really, really freaking cool. But anywho, let's move forward. The studio that was doing the 5th and 6th form King Cold has moved away from it. Costs were going to be too high, it sounds like, to do it. So they're moving into Great Apes, which if you're into that, cool. Personally, I think it has to be a specific character for me to really be too, you know, interested in it. Like it needs to be like Great Ape Baby or Great Ape Vegeta or something, right? Like for me, at least. For other people, they might be interested in this stuff, but it seems like more of a Sun Wukong type of deal for this in terms of the design. But we'll have to see if maybe they change that and it's more going to be like a actual Z character. I don't know. Moving forward, Beast Deities updates. So we're getting a preview at the LED feature for Vegeta's Ki Blast. It's magnet activated, it looks like. And yeah, so far it looks pretty cool. They do say September. I will say again, I do not know what that means, because it could mean either one of two things. It either means 5K Toys plans to get their stock in September and sell it, or it means China gets that released in September and then 5K Toys has to wait a month or two later. It hasn't been clarified yet. And that goes the same for the Zeno version as well. I believe that estimate was for October, but it was never clarified if that meant for 5K Toys or just in general it releases in China in October. So we'll have to wait and see. But September is not that far away, so we probably should see a little bit more updates, more colored prototypes, more product photos and stuff like that. Yeah. Anything else besides that? For Vegeta, no. Broly though, just touching back on this, I really hope that everybody was able to get a pre-order. They were up for 15 hours or more. You know, if you didn't get one, you're gonna have to wait probably till a stock sale. That's the hardcore truth of it all. Because I don't see them doing another pre-order sale at all. Especially since this is called the back order. Yeah, hopefully you guys got yours. If you didn't, again, I recommend following 5K Toys. They will post when, you know, stock sales happen or when they go live. You just got to be prepared. And with a character like this, I feel like there's a higher chance he'll sell out day 1 or 2 as opposed to the Goku Blacks, which took a little bit of time for them to trickle out. That's just my opinion. But, you know, stay ready. So, anywho, updates for Broly here. Looks like they're trying to do some LED light up for his hair. Don't really think it's necessary. It doesn't look that good for me personally, just because it's a matte hair. It doesn't really get that full shine across all the tips of the hair unless it's translucent. So if they continue with this, I mean, it's not a bad thing because it really only takes like a magnet to activate it, I think. But yeah, that's my opinion on this. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments. There was another update here. I don't know why I clicked off of it. But they also are showing off the faceplate with separate parts. The earrings are posable, which is freaking cool. Yeah, nothing much else really to say. But if you saw the previous pictures below, that thing is huge, man. It's the size of grade 8 Vegeta. That's like, well, not the exact size, but it's just like under his shoulder, which is still insane because he's taller than any of the average SHF. It's pretty freaking wild. But yeah, so Broly's looking good, and I'm actually hoping he comes out before 2025. It's looking like they're making some really good progress on him. So I really feel like he's got a good chance to come out in 2024, and then 2025 hopefully could be for Cumber and other stuff that we've not seen yet. Maybe like the Super Saiyan 4 and 5 variants. Who knows? We shall see. Anywho, we're gonna move into the studio known as Air, into their territory a little bit here. So the Super Saiyan 1 and 2 GT Goku head sculpts have actually shipped out. I just got a notification that they were in my warehouse for super buy, I think yesterday. So if you've ordered from AliExpress, I expect them to probably be shipping it out if they haven't already as well. But yeah, so looks pretty good. I understand why people are not necessarily feeling it, though it's not a surprise that it looks the way it does. It's long been advertised like this. It was never advertised as anything else. So it's more of its own type of interpretation from Air, really, as opposed to it looking like GT, which I could understand why people are wanting that. And I guess if you want that, you probably should wait for RE Custom. I think theirs look a little bit more like the GT style in terms of the sculpt. The colors, can't really say for sure yet until we see a new update. But if you're not interested in either of those, you can wait for Tamashii, because the likelihood that Tamashii drops a Super Saiyan GT Kid Goku is really high, especially since they're dropping into villain territory. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It looks pretty good. If I get it soon, I will probably do a little reel or something showing it off. But moving on, another product by Air. They've got this, I want to say this is either the Broly movie. This is the Broly movie Gohan, I want to say, because even though Steve Chen is referencing this art here, right, it's clearly made for the Cell Saga Gohan, and it just doesn't work as well, you know, if you have to put it on the Saiyan Saga Gohan, because the Saiyan Saga Gohan, I think, needs various different updates, but this right here is just, yeah, it's a replacement part for that entire I think articulation within or whatever. Excuse me if I'm getting beside the point, but here we go. Let's keep moving forward. Here's the head sculpt for, I don't know, what age was he when he wore this head sculpt? I mean, wore this hairstyle. This is, let's just say Cell Saga Gohan, because he technically still had this style when he went into the time chamber, okay? Yeah, it looks pretty good. We'll have to see how it all looks together once it's finalized, because in these promo pictures, it doesn't look the best, in my opinion. He should be a little shorter, just a little bit. Maybe they should do the thigh changes too. Or maybe they just, maybe they do thigh changes and just remove this right here, because I feel like a lot of people dislike this really weird hip area, right? That's at least me. If you don't and you like it, let me know why in the comments. But so far it looks okay. I think it's just going to be a sizing thing, and I really need to see them, I don't know, with some better pictures maybe. So far, like I said, just looks okay. Anywho, they're also doing more Gohan head sculpts. This is the Ultimate Gohan, and this is the Super Saiyan Gohan. I will say, I'm not necessarily worried about these because they did put pre-orders up for different bang sets for the superhero Gohan that released a long time ago. And that right there is what I'm waiting for them to actually show progress on and actually release. Don't know what's happening there, but something happened where it just, Figure Model Store, at least on AliExpress, they canceled, that order expired, but they even deleted the listing. So I really don't know what's going on there. But I'm not necessarily the most happiest person when it comes to them doing more Gohan stuff when they have Gohan stuff that they haven't even released yet. So that's my takeaway from that. Anywho, this is probably the best thing right here. Another skirt piece for 24,000 power level Vegeta. In addition with the broken shoulder pads and a tail. I really like this one. This is a lot more detailed than I've seen for some other ones. There was one other person on Xianyu that was doing something like this, but not to this level. So, when will this come out? I wish I could tell you. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy seeing it. It looks really nice. You know, obviously people have a problem with the shoulders, but still, this little kit right here, it looks real good. Don't know when it's going to come out because, again, they have a whole bunch of products they've put out for pre-order that since have been either delayed or still not released. So could be any time. Who knows? And then there's a little articulation video here showcasing it. And it actually moves pretty well. Obviously, it looks like it's on those little hinges or little clips to move up and down. So you probably still have to be fairly gentle with it not to break it and whatnot. Anywho, this is the last topic of the video, and then we're done. I'm just going to say this little mini rant, and we're going to end it there. I think a lot of people at this point are showing they have no patience. I get it. You've been waiting for this figure for a long time. But if you didn't do the research when you pre-ordered the figure, then you probably, set yourself up for failure, because this is his first figure. This is his first real figure built from the ground up. You could say that Trunks is built from the ground up, but he does have a lot of reference material to use for that and improve upon from official figures, right? As opposed to this, where he's really only got Super Buu that he can work with and shrink down into this style for Kid Buu. But even then, I mean, if you've seen the internal structure for the articulation and whatnot, I'm sure a lot of that has changed. And if you've seen the updates, he said where he wanted to make the back plate look different with the muscles and change some other things to make it more articulated. Like, it's like his first baby, bro. This thing is his first release for a full figure. And honestly, I would want it to take as long as it can to bake and get good. I would hate for this thing to come out. You're paying 60, 70, maybe even $80, later on if it gets sold out or whatever. And it comes out not looking good, or it comes out articulating horribly, or it breaks. I would hate for that to happen. So that's why when it comes to some of these third parties, I'm willing to put the waiting time down. Like, I'm willing to wait. And Tonson has showed that he will release what he puts up for pre-order. You know what I mean? It may take a little while, but he's just one of those studios that takes their time, doesn't just rush to release. So that's kind of the big takeaway. It's unfortunate that people don't necessarily do the research, I guess you could say. But the Trunks, if you're wondering why that suddenly just popped up out of nowhere, he's been working on it since 2022 in terms of concept and then into actual prototypes. I mean, this year is when we started really seeing it pop more, but this idea he's had for a long time. Like, it's no secret he wanted to do a Trunks figure, both the Return to the Future Trunks as well as the movie Trunks. Like, it didn't come just out of thin air. That's what I'm trying to say. This Kid Buu came out of friggin' thin air, if I had to say anything, because it just one day he just randomly just posted renders on his page, started posting prototype pictures, and we're all just left like, what the heck? Is he doing this for everybody or just himself? And come to find out, it's a full-fledged product that he's launching in, you know, production or whatever. Crazy. But honestly, I mean, it just comes down to having some patience. If you can't, I recommend not pre-ordering things right away then. You know, if you know the company, the third-party studio, whatever, and you trust them to, you know, get the product out, go for it. But if you can't wait and you're that untrustful with the studio and you want to just wait and see, then wait and see. Just make sure you watch out and make sure you don't want to let the pre-orders go by. Stuff like Beast Deities, you know, unfortunately, you do have to act fast with it. But if you're familiar with their, you know, pre-order process, their products and whatnot, you know it's just going to be way more expensive on the aftermarket. Otherwise, unless you're willing to, you know, be quick and act fast on the stock sale days, there's ways to get this stuff. It just, sometimes people are not necessarily paying attention, just being honest. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like a lot of complaining for this Kid Buu, and I don't totally understand it. A lot of people coming in that may have just started ordering it, wondering where it's at. Hey man, it is not the first time he's sat here and delayed a thing like 2 or 3 times to make sure it was good enough to release. Yes, even for the Vegetas, he did that. Yes, some of them had quality control issues, but for the most part, the product was like almost flawless. It looked very good, high grade. So I don't know. I would rather these come out looking like that than look like shit. Just being totally honest with you. But anyways, that has been, this video is probably gone on for 30 minutes now, unfortunately. But yeah, had to get through all that, and hopefully people can just learn to be patient, because again, maybe in the future, once now that he's got this baked a little bit better, you know, things will come out faster. I mean, you got the Trunks coming out at the same time, basically. Like, that's the good takeaway. You've got a Trunks figure, all new, not just a repurposed arm from another figure, whatever. It's an all new Trunks figure based off of a different look that Tamashi's not done yet. You've got a whole figure that Tamashi's not going to do for probably another 1 to 2 years, and it's looking like it's pretty good. What is there to complain about? I don't understand. And listen, he's got another 2 Trunks variants planned out already. All right. I truthfully, I don't get it. And the last thing I guess I could say really before I actually end this video is, well, why is he working on this figure and not Kid Buu? I do think he spends a lot of his time working on Kid Buu as much as he can. And it sounds like it's actually being shipped soon. You know, it's being packaged and whatnot. We've seen the clamshell, the cardboard box, the actual box art, all that stuff. But in the time that he probably, there's nothing he can do for the Kid Buu. Like, if he's got it at the factory to get more samples and check back and see what's up and, you know, make more adjustments, you know, after he's done that, in his spare time, maybe he's working on that other stuff. You know, not to mention, he did partner with Black Hole Toys to do this. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's coming out totally in horrible quality. All time is being wasted. I don't know. You've seen the start to finish. I just don't understand why people are so up in arms. It don't make sense to me. You truthfully, you don't really see that stuff that often with the start to finish process. You just see a render, you see a prototype, and then it's out. You don't really get to see the behind the scenes of it being built out from scratch and all that stuff. So I don't know. You let me know in the comments if you made it this far. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Peace.